an ID card will be allowed to vote as long as they are registered party members. But let's keep up with the nominations across the country. Here in studio, Joseph Kioko, who is a public policy analyst, joins us just to discuss what's going on across the country. And let's begin with this battle in Nairobi, Jubilee, especially for the gubernatorial battle. It has been postponed 3 times to allow for consultation, so to speak, between Mike Sonko and Peter Kenneth. That did not seem to happen. Mike Sonko still insisting that he wants to be on the ballot. How do you think this is likely to play out today?
I think, first, thank you for hosting us, Michelle. I think Jubilee is caught between a rock and a hard place. The people's candidate, or the person who appears to have the goodwill of people of Nairobi because of his actions, is Sonko. Yet he appears also on the other place. It's not the face I think Uhuru wants to present. He's not the face that Uhuru wants to present for a serious county like Nairobi. Then enters Peter Kenneth, who flaunting all the credentials, looking good, fresh and all that, but minimal touch with the people and the residents of Nairobi. So the aspect of going through consensus was a good attempt, but of course it was not going to happen. I mean, the input and the work that Sonko has done over the time in Nairobi and the credentials, even though the middle class might not really like him, but the majority who are the lower cadres of Kenyans feel that he understands their issues and therefore represents actually a growth path. He came from nowhere, schooled in Mombasa, in Kwale, got whatever he got, worked through, pulled out all his socks and stuff to get to where he is. That represents the story of many young people in Nairobi trying to get it right. That's the story of Sonko.
I mean, anybody who needs to understand Jubilee politics in Nairobi then would really need to understand the stalemate between Peter Kenneth and Mike Sonko. But where does it really begin? What was the root cause of that stalemate? I
think it's a realization of what happened in 2013. In 2013, the then TNA URP thing presented a candidate, Waititu. And whatever votes that Uhuru got is the same votes that Waititu got. There was no additional votes. Now, people within Jubilee Party have been analyzing these issues, and they've been saying Uhuru's votes will be similar to any other Gema community candidate, if I may call that, all respect to all actors. You need to bring somebody outside that axis who can activate another base, plus what Uhuru brings on the table to make sense. Now, that is where the Jubilee Party is caught in a crossroad. Do you bring Sonko, who will bring the Kamba vote, but plus the many neutrals in this county, plus Uhuru's assured vote base? Or do you bring Peter Kenneth, who brings nothing on the table other than piggy banking on what Uhuru has? So the difference between Peter Kenneth and what Uhuru will bring on the table is really null and void. What Sonko brings is, for example, in real politics, he'll bring the Kamba votes to vote for him, because Kambas will not shy away from voting for Sonko, plus whatever votes Uhuru brings and Sonko rides in. I think those are the dynamics in.
Right. And I mean, you bring in the issue of Sonko being the people's candidate and Peter Kenneth having minimal touch with the grassroots and the electorate. And this is something that has been reported across the country and across the political divide of having forced choices, so to speak. How heavily do you feel counties across the country are likely to pay for these forced choices?
I think yesterday I did make a presentation here between the dilemma that political parties are faced with. The first one being, do you deal with party loyalists or do you allow new entrants into the field who've come with new ideas and who feel they can rejuvenate the party? Do you bring those ones or do you stay with the loyalists who've always stood with you? Now, the new entrants, because they want to bring new blood, new thinking, new approach to issues, have a way of having the touch of the people on the ground. The old loyal skin have a way of being in touch with the party leaders. So that conflict will always happen. Look at what happened in Gem. Jacoyo Midio has been a loyal, good fighter, the chief whip of the CORD coalition in parliament. But then he lost touch with the ground. So he's lost to a relatively newcomer because that guy went to the ground and worked with the people on the ground. So the people's choices ultimately wins because that's where the vote is.
All right. So we'll be continuing this conversation. Joseph Kioko is a public policy analyst, but I'd like to take a short commercial break here on KTN News. Do stay with us still.